Live from our living rooms, it's the Implazables! I am your master of ceremonies, Luke Hunt, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what's going on. The Implazables is improvisational comedy. That means we don't have scripts. We are making this up as we go. When we usually perform this show live, we ask for suggestions from the audience, and those determine what our scenes are going to be. Since we're playing this through a teleconference, we have been asking our Plaza patrons for audience suggestions through Facebook comments. We have all the suggestions ready to go, and that is how we're going to play these games. Without any further delay, I would like to introduce tonight's players. We have Catherine Anthony.
Hi, guys.
Madison Heaps. There she is. Rachel Hunt.
Yay!
Michael Lane. He's coming. There he is. Matthew Lake.
Hello!
Stormy Lee.
Hello, friends.
Al Mayo.
What up?
And Freddie Martinez. Now, as we begin our show, our first game is called Talk or Die. In Talk or Die, we're going to allow all of our players to join in this game. Now, they're not usually that I will point at them, but this time around, their face is just going to pop up on the screen. They're experts in a topic. They will start talking about that topic until a new face pops up on the screen, and the next person must take over, middle of the sentence, continue talking as they are experts in the same thing until we have this big, long treatise about whatever the topic is. And that game is called Talk or Die. Now, if any of our players vapor lock in the middle of it, we all get to yell die, and they're out of the game, and we move on to the next person. Our topic was suggested on Facebook by Michelle Newman, and our players are experts in beekeeping. Implazables, go.
So, being a beekeeper is very important because we, A, have to save the bees, but also because wearing a beekeeper outfit is very fashionable. So, keeping a guard around your face, as you know, right now, is very important.
So important, in fact, that it is just practically all the time totally fashion forward. And I mean, beekeeping is such a fashion forward profession that,
That we love to have all the different styles, and we're going to show you. In fact, we'll probably do a beekeeper fashion show soon. That's going to be the next thing we do on the Implazables. I want to show you the floral designs and the silks and the satins and all of the tassels.
All of the different beekeeping outfits are all very specifically designed to, of course, keep bees out. But on occasion, they do fail, and on those times, we go
insane. And there's lots of flailing and movement, and you try to rip your hood off, but it's stuck because it's zipped down here. So then you have to take the time and you just have to breathe. Because if you don't breathe,
you won't know when you're being stung. And being stung is one of the most troublesome things in keeping bees, because you want to keep them far enough away that you don't get stung. Because if you do get stung, sometimes you just have to go back and sting that bee back.
Sting that bee back and tell them who's boss, because you're the beekeeper, not them. And you have the more fashionable beekeeping outfit on, not them, because they're the bee and you're the beekeeper. So the most important thing is...
So the most important thing is, if you're ever getting stung by a bee, that you stop, drop, and yell, because yelling will, scare off the bees, and then they'll fly off and they won't bother you anymore.
and usually my favorite thing to yell to a bee that gets it to kind of calm down is I just yell out and I go, "You like jazz?" From the classic The Bee Movie.
And that is how we play Talk or Die. Implazables, give yourself a hand. Move on to our next game. And our next game is just going to involve one of our Implazables, and that is Freddie. We're going to be playing a game called No, You Didn't. Now, Freddie has recently done something truly epic. The thing is, we know Freddie likes to embellish, let's say. That's a nice word for, make stuff up. Yes, anytime I hear him say something that I don't think is quite factually correct, I'm going to say, no, you didn't. And he is going to have to change what he said and keep his story going. Our something epic was suggested by Christina Golden Hopper, and her suggestion was that Freddie has walked on the moon. Freddie, tell us all about that.
All right. Well, I used to be a young kid, as all kids are. No, I was really, really old. I was an ancient kid. I had a beard, as I do now. I'm actually 3 years old, and I always wanted to walk on the moon. And so what I decided to do was enlist for the space cadet course thing that's going on. No, I didn't. I decided that I was going to cut out some scholastic bookmark things and send off to be an astronaut, And so I sent off my 23 little coupons, and eventually NASA got back to me and said, "Hey, we want you to be in our NASA program."
No, they didn't.
No, they said, we want nothing to do with you. We absolutely despise Freddie Martinez. So, I said, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to build my own rocket ship. I don't need that NASA stuff. So I decided to go to Home Depot, and I went to Home Depot and I said, "Hey, excuse me, sir, can I get some rocket materials?" And
no,
he said,
"Well, didn't."
No, I went in there at the dead of night and I stole some materials because I'm dead poor because I'm not working right now. So I went in there and I got some 2x4s and I got some plastic tubs, and I got some PVC pipe, and I think there was some gunpowder in the back that I took, and I brought that all to my house into
no,
my.
You didn't.
No, I took it to Plaza Theater because the safest place to build a rocket in plain sight is Cleburne, Texas, because no one's gonna be paying attention. So I went behind Plaza Theater into this vacant lot they got back there, and so I started building my rocket, and so I built it out of PVC pipe and 2x4s and the gunpowder. I put it at the bottom, and I decided, here we go. I have this humongous rocket that everyone could see for miles. And as soon as I decided it was ready, I went in there and I forgot that I needed a space suit. I didn't have a space suit, so I went to the nearest Walmart and I bought a bunch of shirts and pants.
You didn't.
No, I got so much underwear. I bought all the underwear because that's all they had. Everyone's been buying clothing, and all they had left was underwear. So I made a spacesuit out of underwear, which is unheard of. And so I put on my under space suit, and I went to my rocket, sat inside, and I got my match. And so I got the match and I lit it.
No, you didn't.
I didn't have a match. I'm off. I just told you I'm dirt poor. So essentially what I did is I got a magnifying glass, waited for the sun to come out, and I lit I lit the gunpowder. But the problem is I wasn't in the rocket. So I had to hang on for dear life as I climbed inside of the rocket. And then eventually we rocketed into space. Unfortunately, I didn't realize that PVC pipe and 2x4s don't really stick together very well. So they started falling apart. But luckily, there was a rocket coming in from NASA.
No, there wasn't.
No, there wasn't. I'm really bad at this at making stuff, and there wasn't a rocket. There was a 747 headed my direction. So I hitched a ride, and luckily it was the 747 was carrying Superman, and so Superman decided, hey, you need to lift up to the moon, and I said, yes, please. And so Superman got me. He threw me to the moon. The problem with that is Superman's really strong. And so I missed the moon by like 30 miles. But
no, you didn't.
No, I didn't. I hit it smack dab in the middle, and it hurt really bad. This is why I look like this now, all deformed because I hit the face of the moon. And so finally, I look up and I can see Earth and I'm standing in my underwear spacesuit, and I see Earth, and I look over, and there's Kubrick, and he's filming another space landing. And I said, hi. And he said, hello. And I said, what are you doing here? And he said, I'm filming another space landing. What are you doing here? I'm just standing here in my underwear suit.
And that
he said,
is how Freddie walked on the moon. Ladies and gentlemen, that game is called No You Didn't. Everybody give Freddie a hand.
Thank you.
There we go.
Thank you.
You have it. We're going to move on to our next game. Our next game is called Acronyms. Now, we have here gathered Al, Madison, Michael, and Freddie, and they each have a specific line of work that they're used to, that we may not have heard anything of. And in everyday life, we have acronyms like CIA or FBI or LOL, and we know what those acronyms mean to us. But in their jobs, those acronyms mean something completely different. And they're going to tell us what those acronyms are. But first off, I'd like to kind of introduce you to our guests. So, starting with Catherine, who are you?
I'm Sammy, and I'm a tightrope walker. Hi.
Hi, Sammy, the tightrope walker. How wonderful for you to walk on tightropes all the
Yeah.
time.
Yep.
Now we've got this young lady in the tie-dye shirt next to you. What is your name?
Oh, hi, my name is Carla, and I'm kind of excited for this because I work at CVS, which is of course an acronym. I don't know what it's for, but I feel like it is, right? But I work at CVS, and my job at CVS is I mainly just kind of print the long receipts, but I also am a pharmaceutical tech.
All right. And then we've got our other young lady in the Implausible shirt. Introduce yourselves to us. What's your name? What is your career?
Hi, my name is Betty. I work at Walgreens across the street from CVS. So I see that other lady in the other parking lot all the time, and I wave at her. I use that long receipt so she can see me. I'm just the parking lot monitor, making sure that the carts get back inside so that, homeless people don't steal them. That's my job.
Excellent. Excellent. And then we've got our one gentleman over here. What is your name and what is your profession?
I'm Patty Fitzgerald. I work at the burger barn down the road.
All right. So, our first acronym comes to us from Allison Brewer Ward, and she suggested TBH. Now, for most of us out there, TBH means to be honest. But what does that mean? What does TBH mean to a tightrope walker?
Oh, that's easy. Tightrope balancing heroics. That's when, the tightrope is really high. Maybe somebody got stuck on one trying to walk across buildings, and then you have to go out and save them. It's heroic.
All right. Let's move on to our next person. What does TBH mean to you?
So at CVS, we got a lot of people who come in the store, and some of them come in all the time, and they always are bothering me. I'm just trying to be on my phone, but sometimes a TBH comes in, which is my personal acronym for that boy Henry. He always comes in, and he's trying to get his penicillin or whatever, but it just bothers me. So if I see TBH come in, I go to the bathroom because I'm not trying to get in that business.
Now, at the Walgreens across from the CVS, what does TBH mean?
TBH means take back the homeless. I'm basically going to take their cart back away from them because it's my job to keep all of the carts in the parking lot. And then I'm just going to politely walk them back to the sidewalk so they can go along their way because they're very sweet people, but that is my shopping cart and I have to protect it. So TBH means take back the homeless.
And at the burger barn, what does TBH mean?
TBH. The burger haul. You see, we have to haul our burgers from very local resources, not the dumpster, from one position to our burger barn. So the burger haul is the flat path that goes from the one place where we source our burgers to where our burgers are cooked.
And now we know what TBH means in all of these situations. Now, our next acronym comes to us courtesy of Megan Avery Sellers, and that acronym is AOL. Now, for those of you who are too young to know, that stands for America Online. It was an old internet browser back in the past. But AOL must mean something different in these careers. What does AOL mean for a tightrope walker?
Oh, okay. So AOL means always on line. The line. You know, it's when you're training to be a tightrope walker, you put a line on the floor, and if you get off of the line, then you have to start all the way back over and pretend like you fell, and so you have to fall on the floor and roll around until you get to the beginning again and stay on the line. Always on the line.
All right. Let's find out what AOL means for our next contestant, our next guest.
Okay, so AOL is what I use to stand for my least favorite type of customer at CVS. AOL stands for a old lady. They always want something. If it's insulin, if it's whatever type of medicine they want. I am busy. I am trying to be on my phone, but they are always bothering me. I hate an old lady who comes to ask me, I work at CVS, but I am not going to get you your pharmaceuticals, okay? Stop asking.
And at the Walgreens across from the CVS, what about AOL for you?
It stands for accidental old Lexus. It's when I'm trying to take the carts inside, and that Lexus parks over the line just a little bit, and oops, I bump into it. Accidental old Lexus. It's not so nice anymore, is it?
And finally, at the Burger Barn, could you tell us about AOL?
After obsessed leave, you see, we have a lot of obsessed customers. And so after they leave, we've made an entire acronym about it. That's when we got to clean up and re-get all the burgers again and make the place really clean. So after the obsessed leave, we clean, make sure it's presentable for more people to come.
And that lets us know about AOL. We're going to do one more acronym. This one's courtesy of Hannah Stewart, and that is UPS. UPS, which for most of us means United Parcel Service, the brown trucks that drive around with all the stuff that we just ordered. But UPS has to mean something different to a tightrope walker. What could that possibly mean?
Under protective surface. Okay, so after you do the always online, the next step of the training is under protective service, like a net or something like that. Like the people use in the circus who really don't know what they're doing, right? They have a net. And so we have to start with a net after we get up a little bit. So under protective surface.
Excellent. Excellent. What about our next guest? What does UPS mean?
So UPS is actually my boss's acronym that he uses for me after I yelled at an old lady who was trying to get a prescription. It means under personal security. So now I have to be under surveillance while I'm at work because I yelled at someone. I don't really get it, but I think it's kind of stupid, but I still can be on my phone sometimes. I just can't be on my phone whenever I'm filling prescriptions, but I just don't really agree with that. So I think I'm going to quit CVS. Leave a comment below if you think I should quit CVS.
All right. And for our Walgreens across from the CVS, what does UPS mean there?
UPS means, pesky snake. This happens a lot, especially in the spring when they're all coming out from hibernation. And what I do is I take my cart and I swerve and pesky snake. And I just keep going about my business. I do it to protect all of those sad little old ladies that have just been so angry over at the CVS. They've come over to the Walgreens and now they need to get their pharmaceuticals there. It's for their safety. UPS. Pesky snake.
And finally, at the Burger Barn, what does UPS mean?
It means under-plated steel. So our grill top is very plated steel. It's a nice flat surface. But there are cracks that things get into. And so if you lift it up, it's under it. you'll find plenty of goodies that are very useful in tomorrow's meals made.
Understood, understood. Ladies and gentlemen, that is how we play acronyms. Implausibles, give yourselves a huge hand. Yay. We're going to move on to a quick game where we're going to go through a lot of audience suggestions here. So we're going to have Al, Madison, Michael, and Freddie in on this one, and we're going to get them populated up while I say what's going on. We're going to play a game called World's Worst. Now, a few days ago on our Plaza Facebook page, we asked you to come up with suggestions for 3 different things: a high-paying job, a low-paying job, and a major life event. I'm going to call out the ones from our audience suggestions, and our players will just chime in with what they think the world's worst thing or the world's worst whoever would say given those circumstances. Now, our first category was high-paying job. So in a high-paying job, we have a suggestion from Marok Morera, the world's worst astronaut. World's worst astronaut. Implausibles, go.
Hello. I went to the moon with an underwear suit. So, hi.
I remember when I was there and I saw this weird looking dude on the moon and he had this astronaut suit and he was in his underwear. And so I thought, how am I going to get him back over there? So being the world's worst astronaut, I just gave him a wedgie, pulled it all the way back, and boom, there he went back to the earth.
Dude, when we're out here, it's like outer space. Like, I feel like I'm in outer space right now.
Suggested from Sarah Breedlove, a stock market investor in the month of January 2020. World's worst stock investor in January. Go.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think that you should take all of your stocks and move them over to bonds, because bonding is going to be the most important thing coming up in the future. We want everybody as close to each other as they possibly can be. So go out and buy a bond and then bond with somebody quickly.
Whatever you do, don't sell right now. You got to hold on to it for at least another month. At least. Then sell.
Let's move on to a low-paying job suggested by Heather Aikman, a hotel maid. World's worst hotel maid.
You can use the remote control if you want to, but my suggestion would be no, I wouldn't do that for anything.
Okay, let's replace the pillowcases. Oh, yeah, that's fresh enough. I'll just leave it.
Oh, is that a black light that you have in your? No, you don't want it. Let me take that. Thank you so much. You don't need it.
World's worst babysitter.
All right, kids, I need you to all get close together. I need you as close as possible because I cannot sit on each of you at one at a time. I need you all in a group because here I come and I'm sitting.
Hey, do you mind giving me a ride to the store? You need lunch? Yeah, can you give me a ride?
One more low-paying job from Sarah Breedlove, a stock market investor in the month of April 2020.
Ladies and gentlemen, I really think you should take all your bonds and just put them out the window because bonding is not such a good thing at this time of the year. You want distant stocks. So find something from a distance. If you can find a cure to a virus, I would buy that stock.
Let's move on to a major life event. World's worst thing to say, suggested by Stacy Winfield Blanton. World's worst thing to say when you get a puppy. Go.
Oh my gosh, hon, it looks just like you.
Listen. When I said I wanted a hush puppy, I didn't want to be telling this puppy to be quiet for the rest of my life.
I think it's a dog-eat-dog world, or vice versa.
And last one from Ashley Murray. World's worst thing to say after you have been born.
Listen,
I am not.
I just got out. I'm not going anywhere else.
I don't care what you say. I'm not buying the protection plan because I just think I can make it without it. So no, I'm not.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is how we play World's Worst. World's Worst. On Implazables, give yourself a hand.
Hey.
Our next game is called A to Z Story. In this game, we're going to bring on Rachel and Freddie. Now, They are going on a minor quest, and they're going to tell us all about this minor quest. The only catch is they're going to have to start what they're saying by using the correct letter of the alphabet. So the first person is going to start whatever they're saying with that word has to begin with the letter A. Before their partner can interrupt and continue telling the story, the first thing that they say has to start with the letter B, and so on. Our minor quest comes to us from Marcy Funderbunk, and it is a trip to the grocery store. So tell us all about it, Rachel and Freddie.
All I want to say is that the grocery store is at the apocalypse right now. It's crazy. Every time you go to the grocery store, it's like just pandemonium. You try to get there. There's so much traffic. There's so many people. Some people are wearing masks.
But there is a silver lining. That silver lining is that the things that are not being touched right now are dog toys. Dog toys are the things that are nobody wants them right now because nobody really cares. They want cleaning supplies. So cat
toys and dog toys, both, all of the pet toys, cat toys, dog toys, bird toys, ferret toys, all the pet toys are just completely available because no one's buying them right now, which is great because all of my pets are really bored and they need a lot of toys. So
dogs, of course, are dogs are our most cherished companions right now because we can't go anywhere. So I gotta play with my dog, you know.
Every day I have to play with my dog. Every day I have to take him out for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 walks. And my dog, I said he is really a she. My dog's adorable. Her name is Fiona, and she just loves to bark and play. And when
Freddie is my dog's name, not to be confused with Freddie me. Freddie, my dog, is absolutely gorgeous, long manes of hair and so clean. I make sure that he's clean all the time.
Great. That's all we need to know about your dog. That's enough. We can move on. So going back to the grocery store, we were buying all these pet toys because, of course, our pets really, really needed to have toys. And
how many toys? How many toys, you might ask? So many. I got the sausage link. I got the ball. I got the rope. I got the squeaky toy. So many toys.
Imagine if you will, Freddie with a huge cart full of all of the pet toys that exist in the entire store. And this
just so you know, Freddie the human, not Freddie the dog, because Freddie the dog does not go out. He very much does not want to leave the house. He's a very old dog, and so he likes to stay and lounge around, you know. And so what I did was I went to the grocery store and I got him those plastic sausage links, but also I got him a nice T-bone steak, you know, because nobody's touching.
Knowing that dog loves T-bone steak, we knew that those little T-bone steak toys would be the best for that dog. And so we got the T-bone steak toy, and then we also got the T-bone steaks for real. And that was crazy because there were people that wanted the T-bone steaks, and we had to fight them. And so we got into this.
Little did they know that I am a karate master. I took Latino judo. It's you don't know if I got a knife, you don't know if I got a gun, you don't know. So I fight them all the time, you know, and I go, hiya, hiya, ooh, la, 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 la. And so I chop them up, you know, and I got them to leave the T-bone steaks alone just in time.
Mysteriously, they disappeared completely. When Freddie fought them with his Latino judo, they just mysteriously disappeared into a puff of mysterious smoke. It was
no one knows. No one knows where they went. No one at all, because I made them disappear. But then we didn't know where they were either, so we were at a crossroads because we wanted the T-bone steaks, but then they disappeared, and so did the people. It was really, really confusing. So
only we of all the people there wanted those T-bone steaks just for our pets. So it was strange. People were looking at us in a very odd fashion, and it had nothing to do with the Latino judo. Just thought we were weird. So we decided that we would go to the other part of the store and see if we could find what we wanted there.
Particularly what we wanted was a nice corn on the cob. I haven't had corn on the cob in a very, very long time. I just love the feel of the corn, and then when I sink my teeth into it and then it gets stuck between my teeth, corn on the cob is...
The corn quickly gets stuck between the teeth every time. It doesn't take a long time to happen. It happens immediately. As soon as you sink your teeth into it, you start having problems, and you start to wonder why you liked corn on the cob in the first place.
Realistically, it isn't smart to get corn on the cob if you have braces, but luckily neither of us have braces, so we eat corn on the cob all the time. We eat it for lunch, we eat it for breakfast, we eat it for dinner, we eat it for second breakfast.
Seriously, we eat it for every single meal and snacks in between. Serious snack time with that corn on the cob. It's our favorite, and we eat it for every single meal. In fact, sometimes when we're not even hungry, we eat it just because we think it's so fun to get those little pieces stuck between our teeth. And then we get the fun of brushing our teeth again later, which of course is the best. Everybody loves brushing their teeth, right? That's my favorite.
Too many times have we realized after brushing our teeth that the cord is no longer stuck between our teeth. It's something that we miss, but it also gives us another opportunity to get more corn and get it stuck between our teeth.
Unfortunately, corn is not in season right now, so we weren't able to get as much corn on the cob as we wanted. We had to eat other things like kale and strawberries and
Vienna
Twinkies.
sausages. Vienna sausages are the worst. I hate Vienna sausages.
Vienna sausages are the worst type of food in the world, but sometimes you have to eat them because that's all there is. And, there's nothing else to do when you're home in quarantine besides eat. So you have to have food, even if it's bad food. You just got to be snacking all the time. Otherwise, you get bored. So
X-ray vision. X-ray vision is what you need to have when you go to the grocery store so that you can see everywhere and so that you can see if the thing that you want is in stock or if it's not. So you don't have to waste your time in the grocery store. X-ray vision is what you need.
Yelling. You don't have to waste your time yelling at other people in the grocery store saying, hey, is that thing you want over by you? You can just use your X-ray vision to find the thing that you're looking for. And if corn on the cob isn't available or T-bone steaks, you just have to look for something else like Twinkies or Ding Dongs. Or
zebra cakes are amazing. They're even better than Twinkies or Ding Dongs. But zebra cakes, I love them.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is A to Z Story. Yay, Implazables! Ladies and gentlemen, our next game is called Bad Advice. Now we're going to bring in 3 experts. Al, Michael, and Stormy are going to be our experts, and Catherine and Rachel are going to be our audience members asking them questions. So let's go to Al.
I think you have this thing wrong. I see where it says Al, but I would like to introduce myself. I'm Greta Gerbenstein. I work in the lunch line at Madison Junior High School, where I see children every day.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Nice to meet somebody who works, you said in the cafeteria?
Yes, sir. The lunch line.
Well, let's go down to our next expert. Could you introduce yourself, please?
You might know me better as Dr. Don'tmore. I'm the local professional herbologist in Godley.
Oh, okay.
I know everything about herbs.
A lot of people out here go there. And let's go to our female expert. Could you please introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Janet, and I own a dance studio for people who only like to walk on their heels. It's for helping them learn to walk with their entire foot.
Excellent, excellent. Now, do we have any members of the audience that would like to ask a question of any member on our panel? Oh, yes, go ahead.
Hi. My name is Jennifer, and I'm a nail tech. I do people's nails for a living, but I'm having trouble keeping a job, and I thought about learning a new language. I wondered if your panel could tell me what language would be the best one to learn.
All right, let's start with our lunch lady. What language is the best one for her to learn?
Thank you so much for coming in and asking me this, because lately I just haven't seen as many people as I would like, because the lunch line has just been very sparse. But I am so glad that you're here today, and I would like to look at that. I would think, from my experience with the people that I've seen going through the line, that Valley Girl is the very, very, very best language, would be the best. Eh?
All right. Do we have any differing opinions from our herbologist?
Well, of course. In my world of herbs, Vulcan is the language to learn. You got to learn that one.
Any particular reason why?
No,
Oh, okay. Well, how about at the
we just speak of Vulcan.
how about the at the dance studio? What is the language that we should learn there?
Really, you probably, as a nail tech, you really need to know French so that you can learn all of the colors and descriptive words that you need to know so that all of those people from North Texas coming in can probably understand you a little bit better. French is the way to go.
All right, excellent. Good to know. Do we have any other questions? Yes, go ahead.
Hi. Long time watcher, first time questioner. Okay, so I'm having a lot of trouble with my kid lately. She's just getting so bored here at home. So I was trying to get her interested in books or TV shows or something to kind of get her out from under my hair. Any tips?
I am so glad you asked me about that because I am an expert in hair because I wear a hairnet every day. And every day I take this hairnet off and I have to get the hair out of the hairnet. So what did I do? I went and found a book at the library that said, how do you get hair out? And that's what I would advise, to go to the library, find some kid, go up to that kid and say, hey kid, buy me a book to get the hair out.
Okay, let's go to our herbologist. What advice would you give to our questioner?
Speaking of experience, the only way to get rid of kids is to bury them outside. Now, you can be nice and leave their head above ground, but otherwise, just bury them. They won't bother you anymore.
What does our nail tech have to say about this?
Well, as a dance teacher and studio owner, I recommend going on YouTube and learning how to put your hair up in a bun. That way, if you need to get her out from under your hair, she has nowhere to go. If your hair is up in a nice little ballet bun, you can just snatch her right out. Right out of your weave. You got it, girl.
There we go. Do we have any other questions for our panel?
Sure.
Oh, yes. We've got one more question. One more question we have time for. Go ahead.
Well, this is a little bit personal, but speaking of hair, I've been having a little trouble with some flakes, like some dandruff in my hair, and I just wondered what would be the best thing to do to get rid of dandruff. Anybody have any tips on that?
Let's go up to our lunch lady.
Yes, dandruff. When I think of dandruff, I think of Parmesan cheese. That always comes in because I have it in the line. People come through with their linguine. People come through with their pasta. I say, would you like some Parmesan cheese? And most of the time I say, back off, lady. I don't want any cheese. So you may try to batten up Parmesan cheese, and you may not. It's up to you.
All right. And our herbologist.
Speaking of from experience again, I want to tell you, you get a big jar of cheese, just slap it on your forehead, just your forehead, not your hair, on your forehead, and it's right the big M right in the middle. That'll solve everything.
And then to our dance studio nail tech. I don't know what you're doing anymore. I'm lost.
I'm at a dance studio, and here's what you do to help with that dandruff. You follow the great advice of Taylor Swift, and you shake it off, shake it off, shake it off.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is bad advice. Yay, Implazables! Our next game is called PowerPoint. Now, I'm sure you've seen all the PowerPoint presentations at, motivational events, business meetings, school, whatever. Now, we're going to bring in Madison as our player in this game, and Madison is an expert in something, and she's going to give us a speech about what she is an expert in following a PowerPoint. The trick is she doesn't know what's on this PowerPoint. She's going to have to tailor her speech to whatever pops up on the screen. That is a PowerPoint presentation that Cameron made a little bit earlier. Now, our suggestion in this game comes from Marta Oliveira, and Madison is an expert in memorizing lines. So let's hear what she has to say.
Okay, I just first want to thank you all so much for coming to my presentation. I am obviously an expert at memorizing lines. So I want to be able to, help the struggling people who want to learn how to memorize lines. So let's get started. Thank you for coming. I'm so pleased to have you all here. Looking at the next slide, I'm going to just talk about one of my favorite quotes, which is Wayne Gretzky saying, "You miss 100% of the shots you never take." So first rule of memorizing lines is, just go for it. Just say what's on your mind first, and the script can come second. So just take a shot at it, say your line, see if it works. If it works, you would have missed that shot if you didn't take it. Your problems can be solved by this simple acronym. I'm going to talk about the acronym. It starts with S. S stands for script. I stands for intuitive. M stands for me. P stands for plays. Scripts, intuitive, me, plays. So that seems like it doesn't make much sense now, but just keep listening and you'll see how it works out. Break time, see you back in a minute. This is just a way to give you a mental break in this sequence so you know that this isn't going to go on forever. You're not going to be having to memorize lines for forever. It will end. If you keep remembering SIMP, script, intuitive, me, plays, you're going to realize eventually that it's going to work out. Back to business. I love business. This is a chart that I made about the number of supplies, and the type of school supplies. So it's kind of just showing, like, if you're marking your script, you might need a pencil. I'd say that's the number one that you need. You don't really need a pen. You don't need a scale. You might need a sharpener to sharpen your pencil, because that's all part of intuitively working on your script. That's part of SIMP. This graphic, I just think it's hilarious. I saw it on Twitter the other day, and, I like the way the guy looks. I like the way he crosses his arms, and it just, looking at funny graphics like this gets me motivated to memorize my lines, because I know that when I'm done with the show, I can go on Twitter and look at funny memes all day long. And finally, I just want to say a picture is worth 1,000 words. If you can't remember what your script says, just take a picture of it and then find a way to bring your phone on stage. So instead of memorizing it, you can just read it off. It works just the same every single time, and it works for me. And if it works for me, it can work for you. And always remember that. If you don't remember anything else from this presentation, remember that you can do what you want and just do it. That's it. Thank you for listening. And if you weren't listening, sis, good luck. Peace.
And that is PowerPoint. Yay, Madison! Yay! Our next and final game is called Hotspot. This is a game that our players will need to be singing. Now, we're going to bring in 4 players: Rachel, Madison, Catherine, and Freddie. They will be our participants in this game. They will start off with an audience-suggested word that will easily incorporate itself into a song. And they will start singing a song that incorporates that word. One of our other players will connect that song to another song, either by words, by artist, by musical style, and then they will take over on that new song, and it keeps going, and it keeps going. To make things interesting, we're going to add a bounty band. When we hit that bounty band, everybody screams, "Yay!" Now, our suggested word to start the song comes from Stacy Winfield Breen Blanton, and that word is dance. Dance is the word that we are going to have, and our bounty band is, of course, Queen. So we start with dance, looking to eventually get to a Queen song. Implazables, go.
Just
You can dance if you want to.
It'll be
You can
okay.
keep friends behind.
You just dance with my record band. Do, just dance. It'll be okay. Do, just dance.
Dancing
You can-
queen, young and sweet, only 17. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Dancing queen, feel the of the tambourine. Oh yeah.
You can dance if you want to. You can leave your friends behind, 'cause your friends don't dance, and if they don't dance with us, no friends of mine. You can dance if you want to.
You got a friend in me. Be-do, be-do-do-do. You got a friend in me. When the road looks rough ahead and you're miles and miles from your nice warm bed, you just remember what your old pal said. Oh, you've got a friend in me. Some of the
Lean on me if you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. Lean on me. Something I don't know.
So no one told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke, you're broke.
Slide to the left. Slide to the right. Take it back now, y'all. 3 hops this time. Everybody clap your hands. Take it back now. How low can you go? Can you go down low? All the way to the flow? How low can you go? I'm taking my own song. Shouting out low, 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 low. He had them apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur, the whole club.
These boots were made for walking, and I don't remember the rest of the song.
Oh, no. Vive la vida loca. Na 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 na. Vive la vida. Oh, what's the rest of the lyrics? I was just singing this the other day. Puss in Boots sings this song. That's why I thought of it, because he's wearing boots. She's into superstition, black cats and voodoo dolls.
Somebody once told me the world was gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed.
And then I saw her face, dun, 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 and I'm a believer, dun, dun, dun. Not a trace, dun, bum, 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 of doubt in my mind, dun, dun, dun. I'm in love, I'm a believer if I tried.
Can't buy me love. Everybody tells me so. Can't buy me love. No, 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 no. They don't need no diamond ring.
I love you. 1, a 2, a 3 should be due. I love you 4. That's more than I can afford, and I can tell.
Each morning I get up, I die a little. Can barely stand on my feet. Take a look.
Oh, Queen! Hey, that's Queen! Yay!
And that is Hotspot, ladies and gentlemen. And Implazables. And that is our show. Thank you for joining us. And thank you for watching. Once again, we are the Implazables. Click the thing at the bottom that says donate to Plaza Theater.
Do it. Click wherever it is.
Have you seen it again?
Right there. Everywhere.